Your Excellencies, esteemed participants, dear Ukrainians, the fourth summit of the International Crimea Platform overlaps with a sad and tragic commemoration. 10 years since Russia illegally annexed the Crimean Peninsula. Today, as then, this act remains a breach of both international law as well as of Russia's legal and political obligation towards Ukraine. The fight Ukraine fights today against Russia's aggression did not start in 2022, but back in 2014. Then Russia and its proxies insisted on several propagandistic narratives to justify the illegal annexation of Crimea. First, that somehow Crimea was not rightfully part of Ukraine. Second, that Ukraine was endangering the rights of the people living in Crimea and Russia had to protect them. But we all know the actual facts. Crimea was and remains part of the rich Ukrainian culture and history. Its people have contributed to the Ukrainian society and economy and enjoy political autonomy. Russia's actions contradicted not only these historical and cultural realities, but its very own legal and political commitments as well. Let me recall that Russia recognized the territorial integrity of Ukraine, including Crimea, on the backdrop of the Soviet Union's dissolution. And it did so again in 1994 by signing the Budapest Memorandum, and again in 1997 when the two countries signed a bilateral treaty, ironically called the Friendship Treaty. Russia was never a friend of Ukraine. It only wanted to control Ukraine and keep its economy and society underdeveloped by denying the Ukrainian people their right to a European, democratic and prosperous future. Russia openly backed corrupt and loyal politicians to achieve these goals. But the people of Ukraine wanted a different future for their country. When the people of Ukraine raised up for this European future during the Maidan and the Revolution of Dignity, Russia responded with force. After the occupation in Crimea, it engineered a conflict in Donbass, and in February 2022, it launched a full-scale invasion, a full-scale war of aggression that continues to inflict tragic suffering on innocent Ukrainian civilians. Mariupol, Bucha, Ohmydyt, Poltava, each and all of them war crimes and crimes against humanity, acts for which the perpetrators will be held accountable, and undisputable proof of Russia's long-lasting design to crush Ukraine. And it all started in 2014. It all started with Crimea. Equally important, Russia was never concerned with the livelihood of the people living in Crimea. Just look at the tragedies happening in Crimea since 2014. We are talking about political imprisonment, forced deportation, brainwashing of children. This is what protection means in Russia's definition. What Russia has been doing and continues to do in Crimea is testimony to its intention for the rest of Ukraine. What Russia has done in the temporary occupied territories is testament to its barbarity. What Russia is doing by targeting civilian infrastructure, hospitals, schools, with its airstrikes is evidence of its cruelty. This is what is at stake in Ukraine. Fight for freedom and liberty. And this is why Ukraine will prevail. Glory to Ukraine, Slava Ukraini.